It's no secret that adding mulch into your rose gardens is probably one of the best things that you can do. And applying mulch to your roses during the fall is one of the best times to do it. There's a ton of benefits that mulch offers to your roses and your garden, especially during the fall. Not only does it help protect your roses against the freezing temperatures of winter, but it also helps break down and offer nutrients into the soil and help increase the soil structure within your garden. Protecting your roses in the winter is absolutely essential, especially if you live in a colder zone. If you live in colder zones, then you want to protect your rose from the freezing temperatures so it can thrive and be able to come back the following year. Even if you live in warmer climates where frost isn't an issue for you, it is still a good idea to add mulch to your garden because of all the other benefits that mulch offers. And there's a ton of different materials that you can use as mulch in your garden. You can use bark mulch like I do. You can use fallen leaves from surrounding trees, which I have a little bit that I'm going to use. You can use pine needles, you can use compost. There's a lot of different materials that you can use that are available to you. Now, how much mulch you need to use in your garden greatly depends on your gardening zone. In general, the colder you are in the winter, the more you're going to need. I'm going to show you how I apply mulch in my garden, and I'm in zone 6B. Now, before we add mulch to our garden, there's a couple things that we want to do prior to adding the mulch. The first thing is that we want to remove any weeds that are present in the garden. We don't want to cover that up with the mulch because it's just going to cause problems down the line. So get the weeds out now, and it's going to save you time in the future. Another thing that you want to remove are any of the fallen leaves. The leaves are often diseased, and the fungal spores can winter over and reinfect your roses when they start coming out of dormancy in the early spring. So removing the leaves now is going to protect your roses from future disease outbreaks within your rose garden. Now, earlier I did my garden cleanup, and all of the annuals like this nasturtium here, I'm going to put around the base of the plant. These are going to break down and offer nutrients to the soil. So instead of throwing it away, I'm going to get benefit from them by reusing them so they can recycle back into the ground. And it's just going to make my roses that much healthier and happier. And the few leaves that I did get from my birch tree, I am going to apply to the soil first. They are really loose, so I want to put them underneath the bark that I'm going to add later to help kind of weigh them down so they're not blowing away in the wind or anything like that. So I'm just going to apply a thin layer around the rows with the leaves. Next, I have my shredded bark, and what I'm going to do is add about 2-3 inches around the base of the rows. I want to keep the mulch away from the canes and from the crown of the rows because that causes excess moisture, and it can cause the canes and the crown, the graft, to rot. Now, if you do live in a colder zone, like zones 5 or below, it may be necessary for you to actually mound the bark up and over the base of the plant to help protect it a little bit more during the winter. If you do that, do make sure that right before it comes out of dormancy, when the danger of extreme temperatures have passed, that you remove the excess mulch around from the base of the plant. You want to do that before it breaks dormancy because any new growth you don't want to damage while you're pulling that mulch away. Now, this rose is going to be really, really happy because all of that extra mulch is going to help insulate the ground and help protect the roots from the cold extreme temperatures. And I also like how good it looks in the garden. It's, I've been a little bit messy here in the garden, and just adding fresh mulch to the garden just really helps clean up the appearance of the garden. Now, like I said earlier, there's a ton of different mulch materials that you can use for your garden. Generally, I like to use a bark mulch in the fall, and then I go ahead and do a lighter mulching in the springtime with composts and different manures. And my roses are super, super happy year after year. I'm kind of curious to see what mulches that you use or that you're considering using, and leaving them in the comments below. But I'm going to finish the rest of the mulching in my garden. I'm almost done for the year, which I'm super excited about. And feel free to subscribe and watch out for more videos. Have fun with your roses.